Welcome everyone to the 272nd weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. It's May 18th and it's, 6:10. About the right time for us to start. Personally, I blame all the ice cream.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. So we got a army with us, like a proverbial army, not an actual army, because I don't think most of them are armed. They're all just.
I have 2 arms.
I have arms. They want to fall off, but I have arms.
I mean, you can't prove it. I don't see your arms right this second, so maybe.
True. I'm just a unicorn blob, just a blob with a horn. We all evolved to our last form.
So I think we're gonna work from newest member to oldest member. Yeah, that seems like a fun listing. So we got Len.
Let's go.
Hi, Len.
Yeah, hello.
And we got Pixinop.
Hell. Hi.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I thought you were just saying hell.
I thought it was it too.
And then I believe CPC was next.
That's me. I want more ice cream, please.
I'll get it Ubered to you shortly. And then Fluffy's Eye.
Hello.
I think Alley Claw was the last on that list.
Tying with also last on the list, Som. Or Living Dead. We did it. We're the oldest.
The old hat. We've been doing this so
I don't
long.
know. Yeah, is that a proud thing to say that we've been here?
Len,
Are we just stubborn?
We need to start a revolution. As
Arson!
the new people.
Oh
Arson.
god, that was louder than I was expecting.
Are
I'm
you
so sorry.
going to burn down the
You can
chat?
echo.
Yeah, I heard the echo.
Well,
I
before
like to
this
think
plays...
sometimes not just being modest. He just has object
I
permanence.
already
for
burned down
himself,
the
just
Bitcoin,
forgets
so
he exists
might
every
as well
single
burn
stream.
the chat.
I don't believe I exist. I can't see myself. It's fine.
You need a mirror next to you.
So much information.
So, as always, if you have any art, please fire it towards our face. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We ask that you try and limit the amount of art you fire at us and the number of questions you ask, just because our volumes are getting comical and it doesn't seem that people are willing to spend the time to critique them. So
You got one ammo.
yeah. So we have to limit your question period. Unless, and I'm willing to make this trade for you, I'm willing to critique more pictures from you and answer more questions if you're willing to critique other people for us. Or not even just us, for you yourself. Because guess what? This is amazing. You'll learn a lot by critiquing others. By spending the time to start working through those questions, examining it from a different person's viewpoint, because you are different than the person that drew it, and you will have different ideas on how something can be approached that they might not have seen. This is the beauty of collaboration. Do it. I believe in you. It is great. So good.
Even if you're nervous, you can do it. Just be polite, be nice, and understanding, and you can do it. You can't hurt people by being nice.
I used to have this lovely little template when I started where it basically said, hello, blah, 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 the person's name, thank you for submitting art. Here are some good things. Here are some things that might need improvement. Here are some things that I would like to see in the future, if at all possible. And I just basically filled in the blank. Bullet points all the way down. And you start off with something nice because it's complimenting people's good. People like compliments. It keeps them in the game. And you're like, all right, compliments done. We got cute ponies. We got some great lines. But let's talk about the main. The main looks a little weird to me, That type of thing. It works great. Trust me. Give it a go. I believe in you. I believe in you. Soldier point.
If this doesn't work, we'll have to do like a Sarah McLachlan in the arms of our angel PSA about critiquing people.
Oh my god. And then we'll have to rebrand ourselves as the MLPDS Critique School.
In the arms of a fine line, silhouette.
I was thinking if we get big enough, we could get Captain America to go. So you've been critiquing.
But only to Americans, because I don't think he's allowed to cross the country line due to international complaints.
He will
Geneva
explode, it's true.
Conventions and yep.
Yeah.
I'm already ready to go on a
Let's go.
tangent because
Who
someone was.
are we critiquing?
pushing,
Who are we doing?
We're
and
gonna
I
do
just
the
smacked my screen because I thought there was a fly because I just saw it from the corner of my eye.
we're gonna
I
do
know.
the top left-hand corner first. It's submitted
What is
by
that?
Tofu, I believe.
Hello, Tofu.
Oh, I know which one is Tofu's. That's fine. I don't know which one is that.
Hello.
They were
So
asking.
quick, 1 or 2 sentences.
2 sentences. Okay, first, it's pretty clear the red line's already there. So the bunny, adding the bunny. So you start. Usually when you draw, you start with the circle, right? So it's kind of hard for me to think about what a bunny looks like. And the second thing is it's just about shading. You can see like I kind of get the shading of the pony's face looking all right. Well, not all right, but the thing is like when it comes to the head, I'm just like blank. My head just blank. Like how do you deal with like space not to show how to shade? You just look up pictures and just try to draw them? Because yeah, that's it. Or do you have to do some practice?
You just break it down into simpler shapes, and you basically just do what you've been doing. It looks good. So the main thing that I'm sort of saying is that is this more of like an anthro or more of like a traditional pony?
This need to be more like answer. It's a lot more lots of anatomy in there. So it's
Yep.
not like traditional.
All
So yeah,
good.
again,
So the shoulder in the original. Let me disable my layer for now. There we go. So I think my layer is done. Oop. In the original, your shoulder is here, and we can see the entire back of the pony and the entire front of the pony, which is sort of saying that we're looking at the body sort of side on, but we can see the front of everything here, which is showing that the body is actually sort of turned in this kind of way, and the face is turned in this kind of a way. So it doesn't make sense for us to really be seeing the shoulder like this. So let me erase everything, erase all the things, erase all the things, erase all the things. So shoulder should be something like that,
right.
and we should be able to see a bit more of it, pretty much.
Okay. Is the stream lagging? I can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, it lags behind quite a
You
bit.
might need to.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, okay.
It's
That's
probably
fine.
lagging a bit behind. And if you look at this particular line right here at the back of the neck, you see that when it gets to the collar, it sort of dips out again, which sort of tells me that it continues along that kind of a trajectory, which is outside of where the collar sits. So we'd probably need to expand the collar out to be something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah, okay.
in general, yeah, those are kind of the main anatomy-ish kinds of things. You've got someone drawing like a little example.
Yeah, I see. Any way to like try to find this problem myself before like I come to the stage that is too much of a bother to fix them? Because the thing is like I really want to find a way to just do the shoulders and the body better. I think maybe I can just draw smaller and don't draw the huge head and just like start with the full body and then just cut off the rest of them. Just get like a general idea so I can at least get them correct.
Yeah, I think honestly this sort of stuff might just be a case of drawing more people, like drawing more humans.
Yeah, because the artist that's in the project is very into drawing humans, and his ponies are very human-like. So it's really a pretty hard learning curve for me. Because first of all, I don't have that 3D space down, so I don't have the shape. So I'm trying my best to just break them down more, and try to get it. Like if you can see, I'll send that shit into the voice chat. So that's what I'm trying to do with the face now, just trying to break down more for shading and for stuff. So yeah. And also the idea of
Yeah,
this eye socket, I
good.
don't quite get it. But
Yeah,
it's really
I
interesting.
think honestly most of that is like looking right. It's just a case of as you want to like draw more accurate human bodies, you're just going to need to draw more humans and get more familiar with their shapes and their
Yeah, okay.
torso versus their waist and all that sort of stuff.
Humans
So
are weird. I'm just starting to figure out wrap my hand around them, their head around them.
yeah. One last question. It's about the eye. How big should the eye be for like a human, most human scale pony? Because I feel like because I used to draw the eye very big, right? Because I used to draw a very cartoon style. I'm just not quite used to how to the shape of to how big the eye should be, and I always drew the eyes too big, or that always been a problem.
If it's more of a human anatomy, it'd definitely be much smaller. But it's up to you just to play around and feel what you want to do. There are different styles. Even when you look at like
Yeah.
cartoons or anime, there are different ways of drawing, like proportioning the faces and everything. There's no one size fits all. This is accurate unless you're actually trying to draw like a realistic life drawing sketch kind of thing.
Mm,
But I mean,
And then
just
if you're doing that,
try
that's
different proportions, try different styles, see what you're try to figure out what it is you want really.
I mean,
okay.
you say you're working on this project, right? Something if you want to have like a cohesive style to a project, you kind of can create a style guideline for yourself. So
Mhm.
whatever you choose the style to be. So if you want the eyes to be smaller for these more human-like ponies, then you can kind of make yourself a style sheet to remind yourself of the details to like keep the
Mm,
eyes small, keep the shoulders back, more anthro, like any kind of tips and notes to keep consistent in the style throughout the project so they all
right.
kind of line up with each other could help you in this instead of each time being like, well, how do I do this? Like, how do I make the eyes each time? It's like,
Mhm.
okay, this has been a decision. The art team has decided we're going to keep this style in mind while creating the rest of the portraits, whatever it entails. But that could help at least keep things in line and not have to have so much guesswork when designing each
Right.
one.
Yeah.
It can also
Okay, I
depend.
see. Yeah. I've been trying to do some studies though, other people's work, who has this style, and then just the project doesn't exactly have a art style. I just want to do this art style because I always want to do more realistic ponies, but I just you want to use this as a practice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, the shading of the head looks beautiful. Whoever's seeing that, that looks amazing.
It can also
Mm.
depend on which character you're drawing. Some of my characters have bigger eyes, and some of them have smaller eyes,
True.
even though it's the same style.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Just keep in mind, big eyes, cute, small eyes, more realistic usually, and
Or
then
edgy.
Okay.
go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I guess it just takes about more practice in the end, more
Yep.
practice and study.
References,
Yeah, references
thousands and
definitely. Yeah.
thousands of references. Like if you want more
Definitely.
realistic, lean more towards a horse than a MLP character.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gordon.
Okay.
All right, next.
Horse.
Oh, yeah,
Good horse.
good horse.
Woo!
Okay.
Let's move on.
All right, we got this one by Soldier. Soldier?
Hi.
It's a horse in a sock.
Cute.
Yeah,
Do you have any questions on it?
like the
I have
ear, is it like too far up?
The ear isn't in a bad place, I don't think. But the sock, it feels like it doesn't like extend beyond the sock very much, which makes it feel like it has like weird clipping with the sock.
I
Does that
think
make
it's going
sense?
backwards.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can
is it
you can have a
supposed to
poke
be?
out there.
'Cause it would
Yeah.
theoretically, if the sock is being pulled up to them, it would push the ear forward.
Or just be
I was
completely
thinking.
hidden.
Yeah, and if it was going backward,
Yeah.
it'd be completely hidden because it wouldn't be showing up over the hair like that. Otherwise, they just have a random bald spot that doesn't like geographically make sense with the mane. So I think it's going forward, and if it's not, then there's a whole other.
I see.
What were you intending to do?
I think I was like kind of in the middle.
Just like normal poking up, because like yeah, I would just like have the sock come out from
Yeah.
behind it like this, so it really feels more like it's gripping on them.
Yeah.
I fiddle around with the bubbles for the chat. The speak. English. Anyways, I'm more like comic wise. The rectangle is not really nice to look at. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just multiple bubbles are better than a rectangle for if you want to make the comic, but that's just like from my experiences.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, we're kind of changing just a little bit of the sort of shape of the sock, just to be a little bit more curvy and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, that's fine. This is just chucking ideas and stuff in there. Don't stress too much.
Mm-hmm.
Why does this
Mhm.
pony hate socks, and who has put her in a sock?
I did.
You, the artist, who is a separate
Yeah.
entity from your OC.
Yes.
I suppose I can see that. And why like a sort of broken sock?
Wait, your holes don't all have your socks don't all have holes in them? Not holes all have socks in
Fair
them?
point. Fair point.
Yep.
They kind of do.
Look at Rich Fluffy's eye. He's got socks
that-
with only one hole.
To be fair, I have some new ones from Christmas I haven't quite worn through yet. But usually, sort of like a whole sock, there'll be sort of more multiple little like sort of stretched points, and the way the socks look when there is a hole is it's sort of more like they wear thin, so you start seeing sort of like a patchwork of like the threads where they've worn thin, and then there's a part where they're just sort of frayed away. I would advise like looking at pictures of socks to with holes in them if you can find any. I could certainly send you some to
I could just use my own socks as reference.
yeah, just to sort of see where the like holes go through and see that sort of like wearing down of the fabric.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll get darker as much as it, because here it's sort of like darker around the hole. I think it's more like it would actually show more of the pony's
Yeah.
colors underneath, if that makes sense. 'Cause it's getting thinner.
Yeah.
I would also. So first, I would actually draw the whole pony underneath, so you can
Yes.
see where the points where the sock would be stretched.
I actually did do that.
Like here and here. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I would add. I just feel having like a single hole here, matching the cutie mark. It makes sense because you want to show off the cutie mark. But I
Yeah.
would also add another hole, like in the toe, because it's another place where socks make
Yeah.
holes quite often. Just so it's not. I put
Yeah.
a hole here just so you can see the cutie mark, just so you can have a bit more.
Yeah, because that's sort of what was throwing me off, is that it's just one very specific, very deliberately placed hole.
Well, it's a burn hole.
The other thing you can
w-
add
as
is
opposed to like
normally
a rubbing hole.
Yeah.
it's not a
What
wear.
about it? Sorry, Sipsy.
The other thing I would do is that you have, like, normally socks have a different colored toe and heel, like here.
Mm-hmm.
And you could add that just so it makes it more look like a sock instead of just tube. Because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I first saw it, I thought it was a sleeping bag without seeing the
Yeah.
text, and that might help it make it a bit more clearly a sock instead of a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Why is it burned as opposed to just being like worn?
It's part of the lore of the character.
Okay.
Heck yeah, law.
Hmm.
They just naturally burn socks they come in contact with.
The cutie
Okay,
mark does that.
Then
I've got a cutie mark too, I think.
the darker color makes sense, but I would make it darker and closer to the edge instead of as faded out. Where's my?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was more like a the sock just fell apart because it's a sock and it's sometimes socks fell apart.
Yeah.
But give it a lot more of a rigid border to the darker bit.
Oh,
And
I
not so
see.
much of like
Yeah.
frayed. Because it would just. Most socks are made of polyester these days. They won't. Like the burn won't spread as much. It's not like it's gonna catch fire, it's just gonna melt.
Oh, I see.
Something more like this.
Oh, yeah, that looks nice.
My version over there.
Lance is a lot higher effort version. I was just putting some dots around it.
Oh.
All right, you got any other questions for us there, buddy?
No, that's it.
Cutie patootie sock
Alright.
bone.
Super good horse.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You love it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have any other art they'd like to submit before we run down through the subreddits submissions? Once. All right. I got no one directly throwing it at my head, so let's do this. We're gonna start with the Fluttershy rarity. Why not? Ooh, that's
I
not
just gotta say, I love this one because I feel the energy. Like I just feel her giddiness, and I absolutely adore that.
Yeah,
So this is
definitely.
by
Like the little
Maya
sort of, like
Kitty. And the title is How Does My Pony Art Look? Smiley face. Or O face, I guess. Sorry, Fluffy, I cut you off.
yeah, just like all the little like effects, like the sort of like the comic book style, like wings flapping and hooves waving and stuff, and like there's like little blushes and hearts and everything. Also had that energy. And like in the little like thought bubble, which is also
Yeah.
shaped like a heart. You got like her. I like how you drawn the pupils, so that she's sort of like just completely glazed over in the moment.
I
Like
also
I
love
like that.
There's just so much pink and violet.
Are you saying, Ellie?
Sorry, I think I'm cutting out, so I think I talked over you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. You can continue.
I was just saying I love the goofy expression. It's just so happy and like
Yes.
It's so good. I love it.
it's
The
all.
the only thing that really stands out to me is the muzzle. You can mess around with that. Although I do see that it matches that very closely, so it's probably an intentional thing. But just to give it a little bit like more.
It's difficult, sort of like arranging like stylistic anatomy
Yeah,
choices.
it's like the main thing that I would probably do is just think about if we're looking at it from this kind of direction, you'd probably have a bit of like a cut off in this sort of direction, because at the moment it's like front facing, yeah, something along those lines, and boom, boom for like the no nostril bitty thingy majiggies. And if you like the long belly, that's fine. That's all good. That's cool. But you could also do something like this, and it doesn't look that different. But let's go back. So in this right now, you've got this chest shape and this like bulge out further hips, and in the middle there's just a big lot of connection, just not much there. But what you can do is you can extend this whole thing down a bit and then start this like hip shape, and so they like more flow into each other and it feels a little bit more intentional, the actual like whole body sort of thing. But that's all good. That's just my idea. No stress. Looks good. It's good, cute feeling art, and yeah,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah. You can see people giving a bit more definition to the far thigh there and around this whole connection area and all that sort of stuff to make it match a little bit more with the standard pony shapes and all that.
I just moved the back wing a bit further here, just so it's because her body isn't fully sideways. So this wing will come this way, and then this one will start a bit further in. And then, other than that, I just moved her tail from under here because it makes kind of makes her look like she's floating instead of just sitting on the cloud. And I moved it next to her, so this goes next to her hip instead, and just falls off the cloud.
I love
Let me
the ears and this the hooves.
Yeah.
So cool.
let me point out for anyone that wants to have a more dynamic pose when it's just like sitting down. But it's always nice having one straight side and one bonked side.
One squish.
Yeah, like this.
Ye-
There's one straighter side and there's one bonked side.
And that's honestly like a shape that comes up a lot in everything in general. It's just a way to make like interesting looking forms and stuff. The colors are great. I love them. If you want to work on something, or if you want something to like mess with, what you can do is you can, for the clouds, you've got this very small, consistently shaped edge. Like all of the edges have this like very, very tiny sort of a thing. What you can do to make it a little bit more interesting is pick a few and just make them like a little bit bigger. Actually, let me reduce the opacity, reduce the hardness a little bit, and just make them like a little bit. It can be pretty subtle, but like even something like that, like adding a couple of like not as small shapes, has made that like just feel a little bit more interesting. It's the old designy sort of rule of like big, medium, small, and just having a sort of a combination of those different sorts of shapes. So you've got like bigger shapes, sort of medium-ish sort of shapes, and then like a bunch of small shapes. Yeah, like this. Exactly. But in general, the vibes and feeling of all this is super duper good. Oh, I see. You could, if she's like sort of sitting on this cloud, what you can do is you can just have just keep it subtle, but you can have like a little tiny bit of like a shadow underneath her down here, and you can have the cloud sort of come up a fair bit more, and even like come up from the other side and all that sort of stuff to blend her a little bit more in with it and all that sort of thing. And if you want to go crazy, you could even like bring it up and have it like almost be like a bit of a seat sort of a thing and come up in this kind of a way and sort of thing. But that's all good. No stress, it's a good horse.
Mm-hmm. Overall, 10 out of 10 on cuteness scale.
Yep, exactly.
Shall we move on to the next picture?
Oh, yes. All right, next one is a
Yes.
horse by horse people. Oh, it's going to be this wee little one.
Oh my god. Oh, wee little one? Yep.
A wee tiny picture.
I didn't see that one. Ah.
This is by Borealis System. Borealis System, traditionally drawn OC. Sorry for the bad camera quality.
Fine, it's all good. You managed to get a picture.
Yeah,
That's all that's important.
that is better than a bunch of other people that have submitted, where it's like not in focus, not even of the picture. The page is like turned 45 degrees away from us, and there's a cat sitting out in the middle of it. But hey, we got a picture of a cat, so that's good. Anyway, they don't have any questions in particular.
Looks good. In general, you can probably make the ear a bit bigger. And with the eye, from this sort of when we're looking at it from this sort of a side, you tend to make it a little bit like shorter in this sort of direction. So boom. Because we're looking at it from the side, we're not seeing like the whole eye. We also changed the shape of the back here, just like kind of the main mass is going to be like this kind of like a rump thigh, kind of like an area sort of thing. And then the belly is sort of going to tuck into that around here. And then it's going to sort of kick out and get smaller for the leg. But yeah. Really, really good job on this like front leg. That looked really good.
Hmm. And I would really love to recommend, if you go onto our subreddit, on the sidebar there, if you scroll down just a little bit, there's going to be an area called guides. There's a section called beginner guides, and there's also exterior guides. But if you click on the beginner guides, there's some really fabulous tutorials on pony anatomy and such. And the reason I bring this up is when drawing, it's never a bad idea to have a reference, something to help you along the way with drawing, because that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. You learn by having something in front of you to help you, just like how a teacher or a textbook or something teaches you math or anything else. References are teaching tools and they're helpful tools, and even master artists still use references. So guides, tutorials, references, they're all fantastic. So I highly, highly, highly recommend getting some of those to help you along with your next drawing, as well as the critique given here.
Hmm.
All right, shall we go on to our next horse?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it.
Feel free to show more pictures to us and chuck more pictures at us. Looks good.
Hell yeah. Good horse. I love how opaque the color is.
Got this Fluttershy. Flutterbat. It is by Sborgen. Uh, Bat trapped. Perhaps I had to find the right reference, but I couldn't. Fun fact, my dumb butt made different angle sketch before almost finishing instead of beginning. What?
Huh?
You made a sketch before what?
They made sketches of different angles after near the end. Is
Okay.
that, am I interpreting?
Yeah, I think you might be right then. Okay. I really like some of the other pictures you've provided here. It really does show the process you went through and help us understand how you're doing this. Also, man, the amount of detail in that grayscale one looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Something about grayscale that makes that entire thing pop.
It really adds to the gritty sort of monstrous aspect of this trapped pony who clearly looks like she's irritated to be trapped down here despite having so many delicious apples.
They're only going to
There's
be
so many
delicious for so
apples.
long.
Yeah. I think one of the when we were looking at one of your previous ones, the desaturatedness of the shadow area was a little bit distracting. Here, what I will say is that this transitional color, pushing the saturation up and pushing it a little bit more into green works in your favor because it kind of enhances this sort of like weird, monstrousy kind of like vibes. I think you're sort of going for. So I've just done that a little bit in this like sort of area. Also, this area with these apples is so good, especially this. The light falling across things and showing off the form is like so good. Yeah, if you look at what's going on here, they've done added that sort of red tone to the area that's being like hit by very, very direct, very harsh sunlight, and that's like doing this subsurface scattery sort of a thing, and really, really like looking nice.
I have found
In
that color dodge works quite well for this sort of effect. Because I've spent a lot of time trying to figure it out.
yeah, it's a tough effect, but it looks good. What might be good is it might be good to do a bit of like just expression practice in general. Just in general to sort of expand the range of expressions you can do and all that sort of stuff. It might help out a little bit in terms of getting the stuff across that you want to get across. Because a lot of the other stuff you're doing is really, really high quality, really good.
I mean, looking at some of your other posts that you've given to us, this is definite improvement over them. Like we can see the areas of improvement, and it's looking great.
Agreed.
All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Go for it.
Yeah, let's do the traditional Lyra and Bonbon.
It's a cutie cute. I love this.
So good. Good
This
picture.
It's so sweet. Sweet and precious.
This is by Claire205715, Lyra X Bonbon colored pencil by me. Not me, by
Good
Claire.
job. Yeah.
I love it. It's such a good picture.
Thank you for giving
Yeah, off the
people a
bat, it's
fun
great.
to look at. And like, I'm nowhere near as good at coloring with pencils. This is a really good job traditionally. Like, I'm very impressed by how you put the color, especially on Bonbon's hair. Like, wow, looks so good. And like the texture in Lyra's hair as well, especially like the bit that's going down the side. Like you've like just subtly defined like the sections that are like overflowing over one another, and it's just like really good.
I want to pet them.
Right?
Good fluff.
You can see the imprint of some other art there.
I was actually about to say, sort of related to this, when you have art that's kind of imprinted, how I would almost say be careful of how hard you're pushing down. Sure, some papers really falls easy to the pen, and you can't avoid the imprinting of your pen work on paper. But sometimes when it's to this degree, I'd almost say
I didn't even notice that at
try
first.
yeah, try to pull back on how hard, or at least try to take notice of how hard you're pushing down with your pen, because a lot of the time that actually limits the control you have with your pen, and it also hurts your hand in the process. And I know it seems silly, but it's one of those repetitive motion injuries where if you're
Mhm.
so constantly tight and taut and just putting all this pressure
It's true.
into your hand, you can really injure yourself over time. So it's just in good habit as an artist to try to be looser, softer, lighter, and just flow. Not to say you can't press down hard a little bit, or like there's some color pencil techniques that call for you to press down harder, but just in general when sketching and such, to just get a
Yes.
little lighter.
And if you're finding that your sketching process is like you have to push down hard to get it to show up, then you might need to get a darker pencil because that exists. Different pencils might give you better results.
I get this problem with sketchbooks sometimes where it transfers to the next page because I have to press. Just get the backing of whatever paper pad you have, or even a box of cereal. Just some cardboard, even if it's thin cardboard, and put it in between your pages. Because that's the idea I had when I saw that. I thought it was just a sketchbook or a pile of like papers that you're drawing on the first one and then moving to the next one. So that's how I do it. Just some cardboard. Whatever you have in
Mhm.
the house.
Like I said, sometimes it's unavoidable. Some paper
Yeah.
is just naturally thin and it'll eat up the
Else have her voice dropping?
Poor Ali.
No, I think it's just Ali. Ali's
Ali
connection is a bit all over the joint.
is periodically floating up into the sky. She's losing
Yeah,
gravitational
my
control.
internet's really bad today.
It's okay. Not your
Jeez,
fault.
Ali, how could you do this to us?
Seriously apologize for talking over.
No, you didn't
I'm
do that.
And you
sorry.
didn't
You
talk over
you
I
us.
didn't
don't
talk
wanna
over
annoy-
anyone.
I don't
You just
wanna-
you
You're
just
just
dropped out
dying.
suddenly.
Yep. I like the sort of
Oh, okay.
novel shapes. Those look good. It's interesting trying to like do the straw and trying to like get them to like drink and all that sort of stuff and have it
Yeah.
look nice.
You want to sort of have like pursed lips, but you don't want it to go like too hog wild.
Yeah,
Oops.
needs to be like sort of a little bit between them, and if anything, probably like into the upper lip a bit and all that sort of stuff. But that's fine. That's little details. That's no problem. You can see this like circle here and all that sort of stuff. Just doing a little bit more 3D stuff with that.
There we go. Actually, what I would do on the left here. So it doesn't need to be like a full like pursed lips like they're kissing kind of face, but just to have them like parted slightly so you can see where the straw is going in. I think works.
Man, do I want a milkshake now?
Yeah, right.
Right.
I'm gonna cost and get a creamy cooler.
I changed their ears a little bit so that the sort of opening this bit of the ear is sort of like facing the front more. And
Mm-hmm.
with the
They want to listen to the romantic slurping of their partner.
exactly with the horn, that's fine. What you did is all good, but what you can do is do the horn, do the little whatevers, and then you're gonna have like a little bit of bulging out between each of these. And I know you did it for this side super duper well, but this side as well. Boom, 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 kind of thing. But that's fine. That's little details. Oh, and adding the back ears, it's little push. But yeah, in general, super good picture.
Okay, shall we move on to our next one?
Yeah.
Right. We got this is by Bionic Neko. I'm a professional illustrator, but this is my first time drawing my OC. Any advice, critiques? To be honest, I'm a bit worried because I think people dislike her. Well, I don't know her. I have nothing to dislike about her. I just see a picture. Disliking her at this point would be mean.
Don't worry about people disliking your OC.
It's fine.
Yeah.
People dislike everything. It's fine.
Suddenly
This
Ponies.
looks good.
Sorry. Suddenly Ponies gave some great critique on this.
Oh,
I didn't see that. while
suddenly
scrolling
Ponies
through.
gave some what?
Oh, sorry. Did it cut out?
Yep.
Oh, my bad. Suddenly Pony gave some great critique on this. Some wonderful red line in that. Highly suggest you go take a peek at their stuff because it is. They've given some great suggestions on how to refine the pose a bit. Especially with areas like the back legs and that. They just go a little wonky when the full anatomy's not there. You're definitely dang close on that one. Sorry, brain's only working at a very low percentage right now. It'll get there.
No, that's fine. Yeah, with the ears, there's like a whole bunch of million different ways to do it. I tend to these days at least do something along these lines, something like that. I'll probably have like a little bit of it, but that's going to be something that you'll just mess with and play with and all that sort of stuff.
Can we talk for a second about the fact that this looks like a goth maid that's also a cheerleader?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
This is great. I love this.
That
I
tail.
love her. I don't have any critique. I just love her. I love the tail. Little cheerleader pompon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good.
Same.
I do have a question about how
I guess
long
the
that
main
tail
critique
is.
here is don't let anyone be angry.
Yeah.
Oh. That tail is really long. Like, if you compare it to the body, it is longer than the rest of the body if it was to snake up the entire body. That is huge. Especially when it's, like, a bone and then hair. I think I would shrink
Practical
that.
concerns, it's going to get caught up in elevators.
Yeah, absolutely. Stairs, any doors. When you're walking with it, it's just going to be bopping people like 2 aisles down.
All I heard
It's
from
fun.
LD is that I now want to see this horse hanging upside down from her tail.
Yeah, absolutely.
She has a
I love
lever
this like
tail.
pattern.
I
The wing pattern is fun.
have a question, and I hope you respond to this, because it doesn't look like you responded to anyone else yet, but hopefully you take pity on us. What's the scale that you have going up at the top? What's that used for? Because it's a gradients.
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't look like it'd be useful as a color picker,
Yeah.
but I
I
think
think
that is what
it's
it's
just
meant
a
to
general.
be.
Yeah, just
Um,
like a general whatever. With when
Yeah.
you're like making a reference picture for other artists to like do, you generally want like just solid blocks of colors because
Yeah, because
otherwise,
just knowing sort of what the color is doesn't really help. It's
Yeah.
like you can pick from the body, which is what I do usually, but it's like it'd be kind of difficult to do it for the wings. So like it'd be a lot easier to have like the specific colors in little blocks or circles or whatever next to it, as long as you have just like the straight color. Because trying to figure out to place the color picker right in the center of the gradient is like a subjective thing. You don't want to be giving your artists aiming practice when they're trying to draw your OC. Um, and blending the colors together. I understand if it's sort of like a general palette, then I can understand that. It's like, oh, just pick within the gradient just to help give you a ballpark of the colors, and like that I can sort of understand that. But if you want people to be exact, then you want the exact colors.
What I like
even
to do,
even
I
even
like to
if
pretend it does have a gradient because it looks pretty, is I'll do the lines. So I'll have just the squares of the solid colors, and then I'll go like this, back
Ooh,
and
that's cool.
forth for a bit, with an actual solid brush, which is not what I'm using right now,
Mhm.
and it will kind of give an impression of a gradient while still having solid colors.
That's cool.
I use solid colors, but when I do like the color for the irises, because that's a gradient, and it would be the same thing for anything else on the body that's a gradient. I will put the two sides of the gradient, because all my colors on my ref sheets are like a solid block of color within a circle, which I used to have to do by like I'd make a black circle, make the brush slightly smaller and erase it, and then like on a different layer underneath fill in the colors. But now we have layer outlines, so yay! I would just have like block a circle for like the color. When I do like a gradient, I'll have like both sides of the color, like the to and from of the gradient, and then I'll have like a strip going between them that has the gradient, just to show that this is a gradient between two colors, and here's the two sides of the colors you can pick. But it's still easy to actually pick the colors, because either side of them is a full circle of just that color.
I would still suggest, if you're really picky about what colors you get, to do this.
Mhm.
Like, grab the furthest color away from each side of your, and do this.
Mm.
Because I'm not good at picking colors. If you just give me a gradient, I'll be like, I'll just eyeball it. But if you give the two ends, then it's quite easy to make the gradient between the two for the artist, and to reverse engineer it.
All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Super good horse. I'm excited to see more from this
I
horse if possible.
like
For real, it's super cute.
Just
Yeah.
scrolled the wrong way. Come on.
Cool.
Oh.
Which one?
No, I changed the scaling of my window rather than zooming in and out on the canvas.
Oh.
Oh no.
I was like, why are we skipping to the last one? What the?
This one is by one of these people. Lots of tabs. There it is. Rat Enabler. and their thing is called Lemonade. Yes, that horse is Lemonade. Yes.
Why are we having professional artists submit to us? Jeez.
Well, I got good answers because even professionals can use critique, and bonus points. Even
Yeah.
professionals can provide critique because it's still an educational experience for all involved.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Also, this horse, it looks amazing, and I love everything about this.
Can I just
What,
say
did they have any comments?
I adore the color palette. That's all I wanted to say.
They have no questions or comments.
Fair enough.
They're an artist, not a writer. It's fine. It's not
The
The
fine. Please send
questions
us
are good.
That is the hardest part of me posting a picture online is I never come up with a title or a blurb for it. It's always like picture.
I am the
Horse.
opposite. I will have like a list of like alt titles. Some of them it's difficult to think of one, but like I sometimes like I had this and this different idea for the title. Also, here's a mile-long description about the process I went through making this picture. No one reads it.
See, I just post on Twitter, and that doesn't require a title or a description. I just send a blank tweet
But some
with just a picture attached.
sites like Patreon and Newgrounds require a title, so like I have to put
So
them. So
annoying.
Thus,
And
horse.
for
I
Affinity
like it. I like
requires
naming my pictures.
both a title and a description. So sometimes I just copy the title and put it in the description because I cannot be bothered.
I'm subscribed to an artist on Patreon, and every single picture is just Patreon horse commission.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's good.
Like, I
It's so
totally
good.
get it if people don't want to make up a description, but there are some artists I follow where like I'll look at the picture and I'll eagerly go down to the description and be like, oh, I don't know who this character is. I hope they put it in the description so I can find out like or what's happening in this picture if it's not totally clear. And then the picture is like nothing. Like either they just have like Patreon supporters listed or like they're just like commissioned for this person and literally one of them like all the pictures are just like picture 233 and like they don't even like name them at all and I'm like I want more. I want to know what's going on. I want to know who's in it. I want to know what you feel about it. Like I want to be engaged in the process that the artist goes through, but I don't know, it's just me.
I used to do that. Nowadays, I'm too lazy.
So my quick 2 cents about this image, again, super duper amazingly cute. But when drawing, even busts or headshots or anything that kind of has stuff being cut off, I almost recommend before you have your final size, you draw the parts kind of going in. Like, so we have the rest of the body and the wing poking up. Well, we have part of the body and the wing picking up in this picture. So over here, I just did a little example. Kind of start the process of sketching those parts so that when you eventually do cut it off to get that nice headshot, it feels a bit more naturally in place than just kind of drawing a headshot and then squeezing kind of the parts you want in there. That way you're taking conscious effort to connect the parts to the body. And it's just, it makes it that much more, even if things are going to get cut off, it makes it that much more nicer. Words fail me. I apologize.
No, I totally get it because this horse looks good. The wing doesn't quite look in proportion to sort of the rest of the horse from what I'm seeing.
Little chicken
And
wings.
I find it a little bit difficult to sort of see how the neck connects to the rest of the body properly and all that sort of stuff. So that would probably help. You've seen Len, I presume, do his best to draw amazing wings, and they look amazing and cool. With the ear, you've seen them just or someone just refine the shape a bit. Have this more of a block down here. All that sort of thing. Tends to be a more normal shape for horse ears and stuff like that. But in general, with the rest of stuff, yeah. With the eyes, I tend to have. I tend to sort of section off a side of the head as like, hey, this is explicitly side of the head, and then I make sure that I don't put any of the eyes intersecting that sort of like an area. And yeah, I was just going to mention I'd probably move the eyes over a bit, because look at sort of how far. If you look at this eye, it like falls right up against this sort of like muzzle sort of shape, whereas this eye sort of it's a little bit further away. So you can bump that like right up against the eye or very close to it. So and make the head a little bit less round, just a touch less round in the back there, and add a little bit of like a mane in the back there as well. And a little bit of back wing there. But yeah, in general, super good horse. Looks good. This is mostly nitpicking and stuff, but yeah.
Hmm. Super cute.
I love this little like white cutouts into everything. That has like a really interesting sort of like an effect that looks super cool.
All right. I just added in a bit of someone filled in the rest of the color on it, but a little bit of mane behind and a little bit of the wing on the other shoulder, just to give us just the hint that it's there, just based on the size of the other wing. Not much, but little things. Fills out the picture. Also, there's a lot of fluff going on here. Just a lot. All right, we're ready to move on?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, I'd just like to point out this colored box behind it. I really do love the muted tones that you've chosen. You've taken the main colors from the main colors, and just muted them a lot. It shows up so well on the PNG. This white canvas behind it does it no justice. It has to be on a dark canvas because dang, that looks good. The entire thing's done with white outlining.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I always love it when it's like this like sticker style sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So good.
we got horse down at the bottom left-hand corner. This is by
This is the left.
William Sama?
Waylon.
Waylon Sama. Okay. Just finished
Oh.
new drawing.
They finished a great drawing. It looks good.
I love the atmosphere.
I'm so disappointed that the blurring failed because like the brain is like chopped up right here. Everything here is blurred, and the bottom is just like there. I feel like something went wrong somewhere because it
Yeah.
looked
We're-
way better.
Were you trying to add bokeh? I
Hmm?
wonder if that's what they're doing.
Add what?
Bokeh.
Bokeh.
When you have a camera with an actual aperture that's adjustable, preferably you can open it up a lot. Well, you'll get around anything that's not part of your focal plane. You'll get a blurriness, and it's a statistical blurriness that's based on the number of leaflets inside of your aperture. It's really cool, really awesome, and it really adds flavor and texture to a picture. This is generally what separates like any lensed camera from a cell phone. Is you can never get bokeh out of a cell phone without it being artificially introduced or some black magic introduced in a lens.
You'll get like weird hexagon-y, blurry sort of weirdness.
Yeah,
It looks
or
super
you
good.
could get square, or you could get circular, based on the number of leaflets. The square one's cool. Cinema aperture? Yeah! That stuff's awesome.
We know enough about
Now-
photography.
Now this is a really weird sort of thing. Really I guess nitpicky-ish sort of like a layouty sort of a thing. This umbrella looks cool. This tree in the background that sort of goes over the umbrella, I get the feeling that's like very deliberately placed to sort of create this sort of a thing, but because of like how consistent this sort of shape is above, like this area above the umbrella is, that tree really sort of draws my attention. So you could probably like, yeah, just have it like a little bit offset to one side or something like that. Just enough so that it like doesn't impact, or so it doesn't like draw as much attention.
Especially because like the
But
first thing that my eyes were drawn to when looking at the picture was like, the umbrella and the light and rain on it.
Little
Which
thing
does look very beautiful.
in the eye shines. Makes it a little bit scary. I don't see it often except in anime. Just really nice.
are you
I
okay,
noticed.
CPC, or are you dying?
Please don't die.
It wasn't me.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Someone was dying.
the
This time it
pupils,
wasn't me. I'm
the,
alive.
the faces, the horses. They aren't looking at each other. They're 1,000-yard stare off into, nowhere, which is a real shame because if we just turn their pupils just a bit, and this is a massive pain in the arse to do properly every time, and I don't have a good answer for how to properly do it every time beyond just keep slowly adjusting until it feels right. But you know where the subject is, and you know how pupils work. Like they stare at a subject, right? So if we try and align them to the subject, which in this case, it looks like they're having a great conversation. So wouldn't you want to look at the person you're having a conversation with? Or maybe one looking at it with a, little giggle on the face, as we can see with Lightning Dust, Lightning Blitz, whatever her name was. And then the other one, maybe slightly looking off, a little blush. It tells more of a story when you can sort of follow along with what it's doing. And pupils have a wonderful ability of doing that because it allows you to draw lines to the subjects.
So what I like to do, if you look up the top here, I've got like these the red eyes with the blue pupils and stuff. What I'll do is I'll draw the eyes, and then I'll create a new layer and I'll draw the pupils on a different layer, and then I'll just like drag them around and like see what works. Or I'll drag them around separately and try to sort of see what works. And the cool thing is that you do it with very small pupils at first, like just like basically dots. And then if you can get those in the right position, if you can get those like sort of looking right, then you can just like, expand it, draw the like full pupils around it, and it should like look roughly good. That's sort of how I approach like positioning eyes and all that sort of stuff.
All right. Anyone else have
But
any other? Oh,
yeah, no, I was just gonna say this again is fairly nitpicky because you've drawn an amazing picture. So super, super good work.
you really have. It's wonderful.
It's got this like kind of like weird storybooky sort of like a feeling because of the scales of everything. It looks like these are like almost like a 3/4 size set in the background. So if you're going for like a more of a natural sort of like a style, it might be something to work on with horizon lines and sizes of things and all that sort of stuff. If you're going for like more of that naturalistic sort of feeling, but this looks fine. I also made the muzzle on this painting a bit bigger because it was just a little bit small. It was just small enough to be a little bit distracting, so I just expanded it a bit. But yeah, looks super good.
Love that the ears are different on the two different horses. Like unicorns have different ears than Pegasi. That's fun.
Oh, and all of this area is so good. I love it. It's so well constructed and stuff. That's an area where everyone like Just there's horrors that happen there, and
They just
everyone
shortcut it
draws
all.
it. Yeah, shortcuts. But no, your way of drawing that area is super advanced and super cool.
All right. Anyone else got any on this one? No.
Nope. It looks
All
super
right.
nice.
Let's roll.
It's a very
on.
attractive piece.
Mhm. Okay, the drawings at the bottom are getting sillier. All right, this picture is by Fanatic. It's by MLP. Day 2 of drawing
I'm,
poems.
s-
I'm sorry.
I'm
This is
so glad
day
that I'm not the
2.
one that has to read the names. You can continue. Sorry for interrupting.
I'm just. This is day 2.
Yeah, that's
Get out of
really,
here.
really nice.
I'm just trying to see if they have any other art posted that's not pony. Because I'm interested to see, do they do any other art? But no, they've had Dogecoin and horse. Okay. So a good combo, really.
Is it pronounced Fantity?
I don't have an answer
Fantahitty.
for you. I can't.
Maybe.
This is not a dig at your name. I just can't seem to pronounce it. It must be
We're
like
artists
pronounced
here, not
differently.
readers. If we were professional readers, it might be different, but we put shape on paper, so
Fantohidi? I don't know. Please continue.
This is an L.
So while they're figuring out your name, I just had a small little thing. This nose bridge here, I'm not sure if how which way it's drawn, but having the nose bridge come down the center of the face like this, like if I draw a line, this is kind of the center of the face where we have the eyes on either side. The nose bridge doesn't exactly come from the center in a pony or any kind of animal that has that muzzle. It would more so come off to the side like this. So if you can define that muzzle area with just that one line instead of one in the center. But if you wanted two lines, just be aware of the spatialness of the face. So again, I'll draw that center line going down. It's a little bit closer.
Yeah, that's good.
So the other part of the muzzle would be equidistant to the opposite side. So it wouldn't necessarily be here. You'd actually stretch it over and have it be closer to the other eye, just as this line is close to the other eye. So it's just a small nitpick to think about when drawing the pwn face. But it's really cute. I personally for this kind of a cute style, I would just leave it to the one line.
Mm.
Just really cute.
The cool thing is that you can do that line and then work out your center line and then work out, okay, there's about that much. There's probably going to be like a similar kind of distance over to the other side.
Mhm.
And then you can use this line to position your eye, because your eye, however far this eye is from this line, probably going to be similar, sort of like a distance from this eye, and it's probably going to be pretty
Mhm.
close. So it's a good way to sort of make your eyes look like they're in the middle,
Yeah.
because it's hard to do that. Even like half of my drawings, I'll be like, oh no, I need to drag the eyes like 12
Yeah.
times to fix it. You can see that someone's brought this foreleg closer. That's just length of legs, and that's something that'll just like come with drawing more pictures. You'll get like more of a innate understanding of how long things are and where things should be.
right. Anyone else got any other comments on this lovely picture?
Nope.
There is a little bleh coming from CPC up in the top corner there.
I'm turning it into
no.
Zombo face.
Alice found out. How do you
Alright.
know it's me? It's not me. With Pixie. Pixie drew it.
Oh,
Because it's your lovely style.
Pixie changed their style, yeah. Alright. Our last picture submitted today is by. Come on. How many tabs do I have for this? There it is. Nightmare Discord. Did you think. Oh. Do you think I did a decent design on the wheelchair? This is one of my FOE OCs. She is a Steel Ranger and her legs got blown off. She does not have a
Yikes.
name, so name ideas are welcome. Wheels. Roly poly.
I love this.
Yeah, I
alright.
always love the wheelchair apparatus they designed in the show. It's just like
Mhm.
really fun, really nice design.
It's cool.
Wasn't the first one for that cancer, like the kid who got it from Make a Wish and they put the OC in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lovely. That was a lovely gesture. Good job, show.
Yeah.
Your wheelchair looks. I mean, it makes a bit of sense. I wonder, in the world of FOE, how much. Well, so she's a Steel Ranger, so they collect a bunch of the resources, and they generally have access to the better technology. So maybe she would have actually, a nice technology-based one. But I wonder, like, if they were to stick them inside of one of the battle armors, the walking mech suits of Doom, would that make more sense than a wheelchair?
I
Maybe
mean,
later in the story. Later in the lore.
There you go.
how would you eat a sandwich in a mech suit though? Like sometimes you just gotta be.
You know, Alex.
Deep.
True.
Deep alley.
Yeah. War is dark. You never eat a
My
sandwich.
usual
She just
mindset
likes
is
fluff,
just wanting to
so,
cover my ears and pretend that this series doesn't exist.
she just likes fluff, so she doesn't want to get stuck inside an armor, because then she doesn't have fluff.
Oh
Uh-huh.
no, you say this, and then I'm just picturing a fursuit style like.
I love where your brain goes sometimes.
Oh no.
Except they're in wasteland, so it's actually just pelts of random animals.
Oh no.
They couldn't get a fake fur.
The terrifying carpet fursuit.
Oh
Anyway.
no, yeah.
This is a really cute drawing. Jokes aside, I want to say I love the hair. I love that it goes all around the face. It's like such a nice framing mechanism to have with hair like that. It's just a really fun hair. It's very voluminous. Usually, we run into a lot of people who have issue with really pulling that volume out, and I love that it's just this nice frame for her face, and I really enjoy that.
For a second, I
love
thought
the
she
front
had.
bits. They go well.
Yeah. For a second, I thought she had like black sclera with like pink irises off to the right, but actually, it's like the pink iris of black pupils there, but it's like the white is so small because the iris and pupil are taking up so much of it that it was kind of hard to see at first.
Keep in mind, the hips. Let me change color. The hips. You can probably move them closer. You can probably bring it in and do something like that, and then have this like main thing be like somewhere here, and then have this like and then have this bag somewhere over the top or something like that. You can just move everything in. They tend to be pretty close to each other, the torso and the hips sort of area.
Idea. Putting the, like, car suspension thingies here, because I assume she I don't know, does stuff.
Imagine
really
how
good at
annoying
something,
it'd be
mate.
to move around a wasteland with a set of wheels.
They're all
At least
terrain,
they're big
4-wheel
ones.
drive.
Whoa! Think of the horsepower.
Oh no, get out. Get out.
I think big wheels tend to get over obstacles easier, so that's good at least.
All right. Anyone else have any other comments? Any other suggestions?
Any other art you want critiqued?
Yeah, I know
Um,
CPC's got one for us.
I have a last minute one. Is that too much or no?
You get 1 sentence. What's your question?
One sentence. Nah, I'm just trying out the method you guys are trying to teach me on stream and see how that works out. So that's the result. See if I've done it correctly. So yeah, there it is. So I just drew the circles behind and get the shoulders in. Yeah, and that means more human like. And I think turns out a bit better. I don't know. It's in the voice chat.
User
I'd push
reference?
the. Yeah, have you?
Have you gotten a reference besides our stream?
Oh yeah. I have got like a photo, like stock photos, but yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I would still push that shoulder that's closest to the camera. I'd push it back and show off more of the chest and all that sort of stuff. I'd have like a very definite bump to show the shoulder going back and like almost show them pushing their chest out and all that sort
Okay.
of stuff.
Right. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
no
makes sense.
stress.
Yeah. Right, because the
That's
stock photo I got is a bit like side view. It's not exactly this kind of. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Easy.
Good
That's
drawing.
it.
All right, CPC. You submitted a picture here. If you're awake, are you awake? Do I have to poke?
I'm awake.
No. Proud of you. Can someone fix Uberon's arm? That's the one on the left, right?
Umbreon.
Yeah.
I don't know my Pokemon. I'm sorry.
For shame.
I only had so many time for video games.
And it wasn't Spider Pokemon?
Honestly,
Yes.
I would just have the arm go, down to the side and come out.
Yep. Arms on a park bench for creatures that tend to walk on all fours is weird. Yeah? Everyone in agreement on this one?
Yeah.
Yes,
Can we
it
just
is.
agree beanbag
Tends-
chairs everywhere?
Tends to be. Yeah. I think it looks fine, to be honest. But it could also look cool being pushed down that way. Or yeah.
I just drew that. I had
like,
thought of that, but I was just very stuck on the idea of him just like chilling on the park bench.
Oh, I
mean,
thought that this whole thing was actually this like bench thing being like lowered, and I was
Oh
like,
no.
yeah, that would make sense. But okay, that's fine too. That's all good.
I mean, if you still want to keep the elbow up, I think if you scooch the whole body over so it kind of like their armpits kind of settled onto the railing, it's
Yeah.
really not. It works. Like, I believe it. Like, the pose you already have,
hmm
it works with the style. I see the relaxation. It's kind of like the chill, like, hey, lean in on the
Yeah.
armrest here. So all this is really just
Like it
nitpicky.
reads properly, yeah.
You could
Yeah.
just push the shoulder out maybe if you wanted to. That might help.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Show that since the armrest is up high, it's like pushing the shoulder up to meet the armrest.
Both was already pointed out, but the way I may have like spaced out for a second, but the way I think the back of the bench, I think that's what we're looking at here. I can't draw for some reason. Well, never mind. It's underneath you. Okay. The way the bench here is creating like a lot of tangents with the body. It's like they're shooting a beam out of their mouth and nose, or conversely swallowing like a beam of wood into the mouth. Especially this because it lines up with the bottom of the mouth. But then this also lines up with the top of the muzzle, so it creates like a strange tangent there.
It doesn't really, but I very messily sketched that.
Mhm.
Like-
It happens. It's fine. I understand.
Yeah, I think once it's shaded, it'll seem fine.
Yeah. Oh my god, no. Who did that?
Who did what? What happened?
Don't
I
worry
tried
about
to
it.
draw an
Something
explosion.
naughty
and it didn't
appeared for
work.
like half a second.
Oh, I thought it was a dog
No,
biscuit.
it was an explosion. But I'm bad
Yeah,
at
it
drawing
was-
explosions.
I saw a dog. You were drawing him a dog biscuit. They're
Yeah,
Pokemon.
that
They like
works
little
too.
treats.
I don't know how
Mhm,
explosions
exactly.
work.
I promise there's no tangents. It's just messy.
Does anyone else see this though?
That's why I didn't ask for critique here. I was just this arm just wasn't working. I might just go with it
Yeah.
being down over here on the side.
Either look fine, it looks good. Good drawing. Good sketch. Good draws.
Mhm.
CPC's drawings are always good. Jeez.
That's a lie. You just
It's
don't see the
not.
bad ones.
That's
Just
basically
look
it's
at
not a lie.
just look at the squiggles that are on the background that are supposed to be Pokemon, but they're far away, so they don't matter.
I have a secret. No one draws bad drawings. They're all just drawings to exist to get better drawings.
Mhm.
Mine's blown.
Mine's blown. Gotcha.
Sage.
Gotcha all.
All right. Anyone else got any other questions? Any other art they'd like to submit? Any other commissions they'd like to send over toward? Or no, not commissions. No, we're looking for
Critique.
uh,
Give critique to the subreddit.
yeah,
If you
we're
haven't
looking-
critiqued today, do it.
or possibly we'll also accept Ethereum. No, not Ethereum. What was the
No, no.
What was the
No, we're not.
Exposure.
exposure
None of
I
it.
do
coins?
not accept exposure for.
I will
none of it.
accept exposure coins, but I want them printed for me. I need them as a solid coin.
Just make it more. Just make it worse for the environment. Not only did you mine coins, you also got them printed afterwards.
Going to jail, Zom. We're sending you to jail.
Dogecoin jail.
Dogecoin jail.
Okay, so I believe that's it for today. Thank you all for submitting art and asking questions and showing up. That thing, all those things. We'll see you again next time. Bye.
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 We did it.